And we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of 3CGRadio, the interviews, the Mute Kody Steele edition. Now, thanks for joining us. I'm joined by my co-host, Lisa Diesel. She's my right hand at Third Coast and apparently on Third Coast Grappling Radio as well. So glad she joined us. And we're joined by Kody, William Tackett, and Andrew Tackett as well. So three guys we've enjoyed some success with since the beginning, since we started things. So we're looking forward to talking to them and seeing what they've been up to and seeing how things have been going during quarantine. So I guess I'll start with, let's see how loud. Oh, no. Sorry, Kody. Not yet. I'll start with Andrew. What's up, dude? How's everything going?
Everything's been going great. Just staying safe, continue to keep my body moving, working out, training if I get the chance, lifting weights consistently, just enjoying being locked in my house.
It's like house arrest, but we didn't do anything wrong. Like, where's it? All we need is like ankle monitors and stuff like that. And it'll be like being on house arrest.
We're all criminals, but we have the right to stay home. And
go to the grocery store and wear a mask.
Yeah. How's your regimen at home? Has it changed much? Or most of your workouts going to the gym?
So before quarantine happened, we were consistently working out 24 hours every day. Now it's been mostly me and my brother working out in our garage, or even working out in our room, and or going over with Kody and working out at a friend's house, just as consistent as possible.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad that you're able to keep the pace up, because that's kind of like the thing, right? Like, everybody's like, oh no, all the jiu-jitsu schools are closed, everybody stopped training. But what it is that the competitors are just taking this time to kind of fine tune some stuff, and you're working in tighter groups and you're with people you're familiar with. But you guys didn't stop training. You just basically had to shrink your training groups and get a little more specific, right?
Oh yeah, and also it's good. We kind of use this time as like a healing, because training so much for all the competitions coming up. For the big show, Third Coast, everything that got canceled. We were training super hard for it. We had a bunch of injuries, and now that we're on quarantine, our bodies were healed and ready to go.
Hey, I promise you that we're gonna make up those matches to you guys, because it was rough, man. Like the 3-on-1 thing, I was I think I was almost more excited for your match, probably more than anything else on the whole card. I wanted to see Andrew get Shark Tank live on Flow Grappling, but
I was more nervous than anything. I was like, man, this is gonna be hardcore. Like, I'm gonna have to fight three guys back to back. So I was excited.
And I had it set up to where it was kind of like the Saw movies, to where you went through one phase and then another phase, and then it got worse and worse. But I don't think it was anything you couldn't handle. I think it would turn out in your favor. I think we still need to do it again. I know, William, are you still interested in getting that no time limit match and finding somebody that's not going to pull out?
Yeah, for sure, man. With really whoever. No time limit. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. So that's early, man.
Yeah, that'd be good. So what's been up with you, man? Same thing as Andrew, or just you've been doing anything different to try and keep your mind straight? I mean, you look like you lost a little bit of your thickness you were going for. You look a little thinner down. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm lost about 5 pounds since I was, just because I haven't been able to lift as consistently. And I don't want to just keep eating however many 1,000 calories a day and not working out as much and just turn to pudge. So I kind of just started eating a little bit more cleaner, and then I'm not lifting as much. So I lost a little bit of weight, but not much.
Awesome, man. So let's see if we can get Kody back in here. Kody, how you doing, man? What you been up to?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. If you're before, it sounded like your phone was having some weird transformer effect. I don't know what was going on there.
I think it was just the headphones I was using or something.
Yeah, it must have been the earbuds.
Oh yeah,
it's crystal clear now.
So what's up, champ? I was talking to Eddie when we had Eddie Bravo on the podcast. We were talking about you a little bit, man. So what's new? What's coming up?
Nothing. Just hanging around and just working out and trying to stay pretty active. Trying to be outside a little bit more. Especially because the sun's starting to come out. So it's just been working out mostly, just trying to pass the time.
Awesome.
Boring.
Yeah, I've been trying to hopefully find a way. All I've been doing is eating, basically. So
Yeah.
I've been eating and doing podcasts. So I mean, it was like I had to find a way to stay relevant and still keep our name out there. And I was like, well, I can't throw events, so let me just throw all my
I've been
energy
trying
into.
to improve my my takedowns, my wrestling. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Whoa. She's on such a lag, that it's, she's stuck in like some cave far away,
I think I'm going to touch that off. I'm lagging. Hold on.
Yeah, you're definitely lagging a little bit. But no, it's been crazy, man. Like I've kind of took like all the energy I was putting into Third Coast and just started doing the podcast and just trying to get real compelling guests and get interesting people out there that people want to hear from and just getting their take on things. And it's been fun, man. It gets me almost excited as throwing a good show. So
yeah, it's good for right now too, because everybody's like they need something new, Like they're so bored. There's nothing. It's weird because when the world stops, nothing new is going on. So Instagram's not really fun to even be on. It's kind of like dead right now,
Everything's dead. Like I get on Facebook and I get mad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm either gonna type something really stupid or I need to just like get off because like I can't.
It's almost a dream come true because it's like.
Lisa, why are you lagging so bad? I thought you
need to stop and think before you post something you regret.
Oh, now you're gonna hit me with the delay burn.
Can you hear a word that I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of like delayed. It's like I'm talking to you and you're like in an underwater tunnel in China or something. I don't know what's going on.
You're already in the next conversation. She's just now hearing the first.
Lisa, I'm gonna kick you, Lisa, and you come back in. So I'm gonna kick. Sorry, I love you, but see you in a second.
Yeah, but the boys.
But yeah, so what's up, guys? So I mean, we're still down. We're looking at right now. We haven't put it out officially, but we're gonna do June 20th. It's looking like we're gonna have to do it outdoors. That beach idea I've told you all about before. I think we're gonna go with like out by the water, outdoors, kind of tiki torches, beach around, tables around it.
Good.
Yeah, so we're getting silly. I had a meeting today with those guys, and I think everything's gonna work out. So I should know probably in the next few days if that's gonna happen, and if it is, we'll get the card booked. And I want to run some of the same matches back, but of course I want to, it's going to be hard to bring in some of these guys that live in like New York and California and all that have the travel bans on them, so it's like it might still end up being a Texas style edition card, but some of the other names, I mean, there's plenty of big names in Texas, plenty of big matches out there, plenty, and
definitely feel that.
So in June, I still want to do
a lot of competitors in it.
Yeah, I still want to do the Royal Rumble thing. I still want to do that. That's definitely going to happen. And I still want to do
for the Royal Rumble thing. I feel like I was more excited for that than I was like for any match on the card. I was like, this is going to be so insane. Someone's going to get their leg broken, but it's going to be great.
Yeah, I just couldn't imagine like every minute, like to count, it would start counting down, and then it would just somebody's music would hit, and they would run down, and like there could be like 8 people on the mats, and just jump right in the middle of them and get after it. Like, I don't know.
WWE style.
Yeah, it's going to happen, though. It's going to happen. And so Andrew's challenge might change a little bit. The people might change a little bit, but it's still going to happen.
I'll take whoever you have for me. I'm ready.
And then Kody, I still want to see that one with you. And what's his name? Eduardo Avalar. He's scrappy, but the other dude, what's his name? GB guy.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor Silverio.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whenever if it matches up and like people are able to like come and compete, I'm definitely down to do that one with Victor again for sure. And then even if he can't come down, then I'm down to fight the other guy that I was going to go with. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I just want to fight. I just want to start getting active again. It's just about it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked with some other promoters, and we're trying to see. There's Lisa. Look at you, crystal clear, living in the 21st century. We got her back.
Was down here in our bedroom. So.
No. We're just talking about what was coming up. What they were doing, and what their plans are. Kody's saying he wants to stay busy, and then just that sort of thing. So I mean, there's only going to be a couple of us out there. I think right off the bat, I think Fight to Win. I talked to Seth. I know he's working on something to get back in May, and then I think we'll be next in June. And then I don't even know if Kasai is going to come back. I don't know if some of these other promotions have just, we were one of the fortunate ones that while we might have made some dumbass decisions, we at least have a lot of low overheads. So, it didn't impact us like as bad as it could have. I mean, it hurt a little bit, but I mean, we were able to absorb most of it, and still, we'll be able to crank back up once we get a date going, and it'll be like nothing ever stopped. So
yeah.
So I guess Kody, I was gonna ask you. So, what were you like as a white belt? How long?
Then we can ask William and Andrew.
were y'all around Kody as a white belt, or when did y'all start training with Kody?
No, I started training with Kody when he's a purple.
Oh man, Kody, you've got to dish out the embarrassing secrets.
Yeah,
man. Come
I
on.
have no idea what you're like.
I don't know. I wish they were training with me though when I was a white belt. I'd probably be a lot more technical because I mean, when I first started jiu-jitsu, it was like only me, and then we had like a ton of white belts and maybe just a handful of blue belts, and then I was with Rodrigo. So I was getting a lot of rounds in with Rodrigo, but I was never getting that like inversion bolo stuff down until I went to tournaments or like 50-50.
Yeah.
I did all that, so it was a rough start, but it was okay because I wrestled before, so I had an idea of what how to move my body and jiu-jitsu and all that. Like I kind of knew about it like from UFC. But I definitely wasn't like playing too much off my back. That's for sure. I was going to tournaments and only like doing takedowns, like stay on top. Kind of like a little bit today-ish, but a little different too.
So like your guard. What's your guard like? I mean, I've trained with you, so I mean, I know you're pretty. Are good at both. I mean, world class on both sides. I mean, why don't you let people see more of your guard, or is it just more you'd rather be imposing your will, working the takedown, and just playing your game?
Yeah, I don't know. I always found like a lot more success with hip-hop, but because like I don't know, I always realized I don't ever like submit too many people from my back from like my experiences from competing, but I've always been able to sweep people. So when I do like IBJF, I would like to like come out, take the guy down, or try to pass his guard, and then like once I score, then I'm comfortable enough to sit on my butt and not let them pass or anything. But also too, it's like different because when we do like sub-only fights, like EBI type style, a lot of the guys want to sit on the ground, and then it's a lot of leg exchanging anyways. So I'm like, well.
I was talking to Eddie about that because that was my complaint is that a lot of guys, and I was going to use you. I don't think you purposely do your matches for them to go to EBIOT. It's just your style is more scrappy, more scrambly, more positional type stuff. I mean, you're still exciting. You're still working for the finish. But you're not one of the guys that are just tactically planning to go to overtime to sit there, and go the system. And we kind of talked about that. I mean, he started talking about purgatory and about how if you're standing above your opponent, like that starts going into your ride. Like I didn't realize how like much more in depth those rules are than they actually were.
Yeah. I never like my goal is never to go to overtime. Like I mean, the boys will tell you. One time I did this tournament, and I was fighting these guys at just a local like little on a tournament, but it was all EBI round. That was the first time I ever like experienced overtime. Never trained it, never practiced it, and then like I ended up winning the damn thing, but like it was so sore because I was just hugging and squeezing. So like after that, I started to work on it. But for EBI, especially like the combat, like when I did the combat, I was obviously looking for the submission, but we never really trained too much combat, So it's like it was a lot of it was just going out there and just throwing hands on people and like trying to connect and make some like loud slaps, and then it eventually just ended up going into overtime anyways, And then I just took it that way. But I feel like my style is really good for, it's obviously a good points. I'm good with points, and also like putting on shows like like super fights, like where there's no points that don't even matter. So that's my favorite, because then it's like if there's like an overtime rule set, I'm down to like do it. But like if there's no points, then I'll just like throw myself at people and I'll just grab them and throw them around and just kind of go crazy.
So when you trained with Andrew, did you get to open hand slap him in the mouth when you're getting ready for Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds?
I think the first time we went at it, because he hit me hard. And he was one here, and I spent all my energy trying to kill him. Like I was like running on his back.
He took my back and he just started slapping me. And I was like, God, get me out of here.
Oh, so Andrew hit you first is what caused that?
Yeah, and then after that I was like, okay. And then we just started.
I think Kody too hard, and I was like slapping his legs. I was like, wait, am I hitting him too hard? And then I think I slapped him. I was like, oh God. And I could see his eyes just open up, and he was like, I'm gonna kill you. I was like, And then he got up on me, and then I like pulled guard, and he just like started, blah, 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 and I like, oh, there goes my camera. And
There goes your Pringles can. Sorry, didn't work out too well.
And then I like turtled up, and then he like took my back and just started slapping me, and I was like, I'm done. And he's like, we're done with that, boy. I was like,
we're done when I say we're done.
Yeah.
What about you, William? How's that training for combat jiu-jitsu? Do you want to get into that? I mean, I started getting into it more honestly because I started watching it more because of Kody and some other friends that started competing on there, and like I actually gave combat jiu-jitsu a chance, and I like it. I really do like it now. I really enjoy it. I just wish that the tier of like the talent, like Cody's talented, a lot of the high level guys just don't want to do it. You know, they don't want to get in there with slaps or they don't like EBI rules, or it's just, you know, a combination. So it's hard to get those marquee guys in there because honestly, most of them are just scared.
Yeah, I mean, I've only had good experiences training for combat because, like we said, like Kody never really trained too much for combat. It was only like 2 or 3 times, and every single time that I was like his training partner, I was his last training partner. And he's like after Shark Tank, he was like exhausted. So you know, I had like fun training because I was just able to like, you know, just roll with him. He was exhausted, and I was able to like get some slaps in and stuff. And he has never really hit me, but yeah, I mean, I was his first training partner.
That's awesome. So are we gonna see you in combat jiu-jitsu? You want to hop in and do one of those or what?
Yeah, I'd love to do one. I think it'd be fun. I think my style's better for like regular jiu-jitsu, but I think that it'd be difficult for someone to submit me in CJJ. So I could probably, if they don't submit me, I could probably beat him in OT. But I'd rather do like normal EBI whenever he brings that back. But I would have no problem jumping into combat jiu-jitsu because I was actually supposed to do combat, and I was actually Cody's spot, and then Kesai called me up and said, "Hey, do you want to do the Kasai?" So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do the Kasai, and Kody can jump in my spot for combat. That way we could both compete at the same time."
It's so tough to have options. So many options. No, it's good though, man. I'm happy to see you guys that y'all are killing it on the national or worldwide stage. How was that deal in where was that at? Russia or wherever it was? Croatia?
Ukraine.
Yeah, dude. Like, how was that? Like, because like watching you take out the whole Jerusalem team or whoever the hell that was. Like, I was like, it's insane. Just watch you just tap a whole team at one. It was insane. Like, y'all could talk about that experience, I guess, as a whole. Like, and are y'all gonna go back? Is there plans for round 2? Like, what's up with all that?
That was like one of the cooler like experiences I've had like competing, because not only did I like go across the country like to a completely different like place of the world, but it was like really, really cool as far as like everyone was in suits. There was like weird dances in between the fight. It was just, I don't know, everything was unique. It wasn't like it is in the US, you know. It had like its own little spin, and it was cool. It was really, really neat, and it was also pretty crazy that I was able to do like 5 fights in a row. That kind of
like how'd you feel at the end of that?
Oh, it was pretty insane. I actually popped my rib out during that tournament, so that's why I beat in the Nogi World, and but so I was pretty kind of beat up, but I was like really like amped up because I just beat the whole team, so it was pretty cool.
Like we were getting ready to go back overseas to the UK to do that event. We were going to take you guys with us. I guess can y'all talk to the level of grappling in comparison from like in the US versus, you know, you guys being in Europe and getting to travel and train around those guys, and just kind of, I guess, where are they at in comparison to where we're at in terms, because I mean, it came from Japan, then to Brazil, then to America, and then now it's kind of going everywhere now. So what differences have y'all seen training around the world?
I mean, they have a lot of good guys over there. We train with a lot of good guys, like Ross Nichols, right? That was his name. What was his buddy's name? His like teammate or his student?
Jackson Souza's over there too, isn't he?
Jed's his name.
Jed, yeah, and this guy named Jed, he was really good. So we went to a few places, and there were some like really good like studs, and then they have some competitors out there too, who are like very good, like high level. You know, like they have a guy out there like Tarek Hopstock, or I can't say his last name, but I know he's out there. And
I know you're talking about Tarek Hoppin, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's really good. So I know he's located out there somewhere too. So.
Right on, man. So the game is getting better out there then, because I talked to my British friends and they're like, man, they're all about the no gi and the leg locks over there. So it's like, the gi game is a lot stronger in the U.S., I guess. But I mean the no gi game has really exploded over there, from what I'm hearing at least.
Because they have like Adam Bardinsky out there, and they have like 100 Gracie's in London now too. So
you got Braulio Estima, and you got all those guys over there. So. Yeah. I mean, there's some great jiu-jitsu over there. So I guess, Lisa, you got any questions? What's going on with you instead of looking like a Zen little Buddha doll over there? Why don't you get involved in this convo?
Every time I want to talk, I feel like it lags when I unmute myself. But can you guys hear me clearly?
Oh, yeah. You're perfect now. Okay.
I was trying to say earlier before everything.
Brian, we say that.
On my end. Was when Kody came back, I was trying to say that I've been practicing your instructional, the BJJ Fanatics instructional for the wrestling. I'm trying to improve that so bad ever since Andrew and Williams took me down like 25 minutes. I realized that my top game, I don't have any game. So I've been working on that since I visited you guys actually in Austin. And so your instructional came out. My husband did. Yeah, I'm excited. Like I was trying to say earlier that this is like the greatest time for me to train, because I know that a lot of people can't train, and that's horrible to say because I want everybody to be able to train. But I'm so behind in my wrestling game that I hope that this time will pass where, I'll have something to show when we finally get back to the gym.
I'm just proud you're not a butt scooter anymore. So I'm proud of you.
It's cool to use this time where everybody's not training to train yourself, because then you can come out better than when like you came into this thing, because everybody else was trained with you and everybody was growing with you. But if like you're trained when people are not, then you're just growing and you come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. And I think a lot of people are doing our training at home, like we're all doing our own thing in different foundational moves that'll help us in our game. So I feel like a lot of people are thinking, oh man, I'm lagging behind, and you're probably training, working out more than you did before, even if you think about it, because of all the training we have at home now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been training almost 4 years, and this is probably the longest I've gone without training. I think I'm coming up. March 10th was my last day to train, and I did that kind of like. I kind of like as in protest. I didn't want to do video classes. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. So like as in protest, I was like, no jiu-jitsu. If I can't strangle you with my bare hands, I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to be on video doing a bunch of warm-ups for an hour. Like it's just not my style. I don't even like doing warm-ups. I'm not gonna do one like on a video conference. Like I know, and I get it. No, like I'm just joking. But I mean, a lot of people are getting out a lot. I mean, it just depends on who you are. There's like Gracie Ba has been putting out great online content. I know there's been a lot of like individual guys that have been putting out stuff daily. So, I mean, it's a good time to get better, but I think it's also a good time to maybe, fix some other things in your house that might get neglected by going so hard all the time and training all the time. And, it's getting caught up in that grind. So it gives you time to kind of work on some other stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What we've been doing is like, we've been running like online classes and stuff at the gym, and Rodrigo have been doing more video breakdowns instead of like doing warm-ups, because at first he's like, all right, you're gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, we're gonna drill. I'm like, okay. So we were doing this, and then we started getting less people in the class, and I was like, I don't think people want to work out. Like, I want to talk about jiu-jitsu more than working out, so yeah. Like we ended up doing like more like videos and like breaking them down and stuff like that. And now everyone likes that. And it's more fun too to like watch like a cool match and then be able to like really try to break it down and study it, or how they're like doing body locks, and then trying to like be able to tell people how they're doing it, or show white belts like the little mistakes that they do but they don't see. So,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, like we're seeing like an unprecedented amount of like world-class level like athletes that normally might not be so accessible, just basically offering free video privates, or like the Gracie Baja guys. Like for us, Professor Draculino is giving free like privates to his students. Like all you gotta do is book a time, like a video private with one-on-one time with somebody like that. I mean, it's invaluable. So I'd like to see how how everybody's kind of gotten creative during this time. But just the video training for me, like I mean, it's not my thing. I couldn't get into it. So I was like, I'm just going to eat. I'm going to heal up. I'm going to work on the business. And then I'll just come back with a better pressure game. That's all I'm going to be looking out for. So no, but so Andrew, I got to ask you, what were you doing differently for your 3 versus 1 match? I mean, were you just training one after another one? What was your game plan? I mean, don't give it all away. Were you just going to try and blitz them, come out and submit everybody as quick as you could, or were you going to try and like play more tactical?
Oh, I was going to try to put on a show for sure. I wasn't really trying to go out there for much like technique, like go past the person's guard, or even sweep them, take their back and choke them instantly. I was going for more of like trying to put on as big a show as possible, because I know like that was the first time anybody's ever seen like a shark bait like before. So I wanted to make sure it was like exciting for people, so they wanted to see more of it. I mean, I was definitely, if I was losing the match, then I would for sure I would try all that I could to submit the guy. But I was wanting to go out there, put it on a show, and come out with the win for sure.
Yeah, and that concept and just some other stuff that we were looking at. I'm not going to give it all away here, but we want to keep getting creative with the match types and keep trying new stuff and keep trying to push the envelope, because the 1 versus 1 format, you can only do so much with it. You can only have Gordon versus Kind Duarte so many times, or see the same matchup so many times until it's like, all right, let's try and do something different, and make it more exciting. So, William, with your match, I mean, Bruno Matias, did you know anything about him when we changed it up to him?
Not really too much until I watched some of his flow grappling stuff, but I didn't know too much, just from a few matches he had on flow. But
he just came. I guess he's one of Felipe Pena's guys. He's used to train with Pedro Mourinho back in Brazil. He was a kill. That match between you and him was going to be probably that was like my sleeper fight of the night, if that one was going to happen.
I knew he was a guard player, and I knew he was from Preguiça's school, so I think he's going to be tough. But I didn't really know much about his game.
So Kody, like when you've been working with like your wrestling for jiu-jitsu, I mean, you've been doing this for a while now. I mean, it's the new trend, right? Just to wrestle up out of everything. Everybody's adding the wrestling into the jiu-jitsu. Like being ahead of that, I mean, how have you seen it combined? Because it's pretty apparent to me, just my purple belt ass, like I've trained a lot on my feet, going against somebody that doesn't barely do it at all. I mean, the gap is just so wide. I mean, do you think that everybody should be training wrestling as part of jiu-jitsu, or do you think that should still be a separate kind of endeavor?
I think it just depends on your style. Like if you're like a guard player, it's hard to like just be able to pick up wrestling. But I would say if like someone's gonna try to get good at wrestling, I would just stick to the basics, because a lot of what I do is basics, because I never wrestled D1 college or anything like that, but jiu-jitsu wrestling is a lot different. You can take someone down who's really good at wrestling, but especially if you're like adding jiu-jitsu into it. But I would just do the basics. A lot of stuff that I do is just very basic, and then I'll mix in a few fancy things in there, like like timing or whatever. But like when I'm like in like a heat of a scramble, I just turn to basics. Like I'll go straight to like single legs or back to doubles, or I like to hug the waist a lot, in mid scrambles. So,
that's something I see a lot of like the like going for the waist, and kind of like William, like when you do your overrun, like when you're passing, you're going for that weight. What is it, that double underpass you do or whatever? Like, what's the purpose of that? Being able to like basically overhook or underhook the waist that way, or whatever.
It's like the body lock, like we use that for
the body lock. So you're basically, that's what you're talking about, Kody, right?
Yeah, because you can get it from everywhere. You can get it in mid scrambles. You can get it from like if you're trying to do a takedown, and then you're like you try to do a dump, and then you can switch right to the waist, or you know what I mean. So, or if you're passing, it's always there. Or if you're doing a takedown and you land, you're in a body lock position, and then you're in a really good spot to pass. Especially if you know how to use it.
Right on. So with Austin becoming kind of like a big, kind of it's starting to get bigger and bigger, y'all seen, is this still pretty fractured out there? Or is everybody still, is everybody starting to get along and kind of connect and, like doing like any cross training or anything like that?
Wise, or like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like other people coming over to our gym and training?
No, I mean, like, is the scene growing? Like, are you guys connected, like, with the Houston Jiu-Jitsu community? Like, everybody's real kind of supportive, connected. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Like, with Austin, has it still got a ways to go with stuff like that?
I mean, we're kind of like, I guess. I mean, I know everybody kind of like who's local and stuff. Like I always say like hi and everything. I'm nice, but I don't know. We don't really talk to too many other people outside. Like sometimes we go to Cooper's and everyone's like super nice there and stuff.
Yeah,
But whenever
Yeah, not a lot of people cross train really.
that's
But
good.
also,
Yeah.
since like the jiu-jitsu community is like a big family, like you see somebody, you're not gonna be mean to them. You're like, hey, I know you do jiu-jitsu. It's like, what's up, man? It's like you see someone like you're familiar with them because like we're all one big family. The two.
So like,
So-
go ahead, Lisa.
So, like to add on to what Ryan was saying about the Houston community, like there's a lot of like open mats, Brujitsu, something that they have here in Houston. Are there any like that in Austin?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, we have good jiu-jitsu here. Sorry, go ahead, Kody.
And they have Brujitsu, and then we have some schools like Cooper's. They're always having open mats and things like that on Sunday. So we just don't have any open mats or anything like that. But we like it when people come train with us. Like we always like to roll with people, especially if they're like local,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So Austin is still mainly kind of is a college town. I mean, pretty much. So I mean, you're getting like a fresh crop of people. Maybe if they're starting college their freshman year, might have been a hot shit wrestler or a hot purple belt. So like the Austin scene, like the tournament scene, is constantly changing and evolving as these colleges are turning over new students and stuff like that. Like, what's the talent level like, say, in an Austin compared to say a Houston, or if you go even up to Dallas, or where does it stand in kind of like I guess how you would say that the scenes in Texas in terms of competitiveness?
I mean, I think Dallas is pretty tough. I don't know. I feel like Dallas is tough. Austin, I don't feel like we have like a ton of young competitors at Austin. Like that I can think of on the top of my head. Like the only guys I can think of are like people from Dallas and Houston. And the other school that they have here, because a lot of guys from Cooper's don't compete. We have like UPT around here. They got like masters and stuff. Yeah, 10th Planet Austin. They're down south, and I think they have some guys, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Man, yeah, it seems pretty spread
Typically,
out.
all of our guys are like Master 1
Yeah.
to like late adult. Like we get a lot of guys that come in that are like really tough. Like they either wrestled or they played like water polo or something like that back in high school. But they're like 30, so they're like a little bit older. We don't really have.
So they're old like me and Lisa. They're old like us, Lisa.
Yeah, they're still athletic. We got a lot of athletes in our gym. Like we got a guy named Tim. It's like he's 30, I think, but he's an athlete.
So what's up with who is that guy? Brandon Gambucci. That's his name, right? Like I checked into him like after we made that match and everything with him and Kody. I was like, holy crap, dude! Like this guy is legit. Like his wrestling and like he's the real deal. I'm excited to see him get on stage and see what he can do.
He's actually a super cool guy. He's been wrestling for a while, and his wrestling's like super surprising when you go with him. I've known Brandon for a while, and I remember the first time I ever rolled with him, I was like, I might as well check out his wrestling. I remember he took me down so fast, so many times. I was like, wow, that's a new level of wrestling right there.
So is he y'all's official coach, or Kody? Do you still hold that title for wrestling, or do y'all bring Brandon in more as just kind of fresh meat? So for y'all to pick on, or what's the dynamic here?
No, we bring Brandon in. We try to learn from him as much as we can. Even like me, like I'm always I ask him questions. Maybe between like me and William, I feel like we ask him a lot. But he wrestled at Duke or something like that. Yeah, so. He's got that little man jiu-jitsu, so he's super technical. Like you'll be tight. You're tied up with him, and then you push into him, and then he's gone. Or you shoot on him, and he's like gone, and then he's shooting on you. Like
it's like a little bowling ball low to the ground.
Yeah,
and like a guillotine, just like whips his head out, and he's already like around your backside, about to take your back. And you're like, what the heck?
So wait,
he has super weird wrestling. Like his wrestling isn't like 100%. Like he used to, like when he used to wrestle a lot, he used to call his wrestling like kind of like funk wrestling, like
kind of like Ben Askren, right? Funky style,
yeah.
like folk style.
Yeah,
right on. Well, William, I got a question. People have asked me about this match, like publicly and probably. They want to see you and Pedro Mourinho go at it. What do you think about that?
I think it'd be a great match. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while. I know Kody had a match with him a while back. I would love to have him. He's a super cool guy. He's got a fun game.
I think that would be
a great match.
Yeah, that would be. I could probably get Pedro to do the no time limits, no subs. So if we got to keep it Texas and June does happen like we want it to, you and Pedro might be great for the brown belt strap. That would be a good one.
Yeah, it would be good. I got to focus on putting weight back on again, though. He is a little bit bigger than me. So.
Where are you at right now? He can get down to about 180. He could probably make 180.
Yeah, I'm walking around like 184 right now.
Get them gains, man. You need more acai and Jesus in your life. You need a lot better.
You need to bake that quarantine bread at home or something.
Quarantine milkshakes. No, but yeah, man. I mean, I've been looking for like a lot of matches. Like I don't even know what to think. It's like the industry's resetting. Like I mean, fighter pay is going to reset. I mean, people's reputation. A lot of people that had momentum are they lose that momentum. Like everything is kind of going back to baseline. And I think the first couple events are really going to start setting the market or setting the standard for who's going to be who. Like if we come back big, which we expect to in June with you guys, and we have great matches and great opponents, I think that's going to put y'all probably exponentially in a better position than it was even before the coronavirus, because the market's not going to be as saturated as it was beforehand.
I definitely feel the first couple of tournaments to like put on a show. Once we get off this quarantine and all that, I feel like they're definitely going to do very good, since people are so bored of like really not watching anything new. So like if Third Coast was to like put on a big show like you're planning, I feel like a lot of people are going to want to watch it because we're all super bored.
Man, we're
jiu-jitsu.
Honestly, man, like ask Lisa, like after the cancellation, it was kind of like a depression. We were like, I mean, her and Zach probably were like, okay, we can finally rest. But I was sitting there going crazy because I'm like, now what? Like basically lost my job. Everything just upended. We didn't know what to do. I mean, it was just so uncertain, man. It was like, and then we were taking heat from other people, and I'm having to talk shit to them and fight them here and there. And I'm like, well, I'll take the gloves off. Like, I don't care. Like I don't care who these people are, but we ended up making it out all right. And, we made things right with people, and that's all that matters. And so we're just going to keep putting on good events. But I guess coming back, Kody, you see anybody out there? I mean, that could come back and maybe make a really big impact. I mean, that's realistic, like within a driving distance, or, I don't really see anybody from Cali or New York making it down for the June card, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely keeping my eyes out, but like you said, it's going to be different. It's going to be weird because when we go back to like the world and we're not in quarantine anymore, there's going to be a lot of people have like you said, had a lot of momentum coming up. There's going to be guys like in the trenches that were waiting, and then like they're even more hungry. There's people, who are already at the top, and maybe they're not so hungry. Like we're going to come out of this quarantine, and there's going to be some like new top guys, or there's going to be people that are just going to get stronger. Like I know Dante, like he's working,
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, that's going to be a guy. Like, I know when he comes out, he's going to be.
That'd be a dope match. And I talk to Dante every now and then, and he's one of my favorite guys out here in the sport. You and Dante would be, yeah. I don't even know what I would even think about that, but that would be, we gotta watch your back in that one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely ready for all that. Like, especially like the guys that don't interest me right now in fighting them are the guys who are going to like sit on their butts and scoot,
I don't even want to sign those guys. I don't even want to work out.
Like I want to fight a guy who's gonna come at me and like fucking like snap my head down and like just get violent, Like I don't really like the point scores and all that. It's tough. That's tough for me.
So we'll get Kody versus Tex Johnson.
You want a guy to fight you. You want to fight someone on stage.
So we can either do William and Tex combat jiu-jitsu, or we can get Kody and Tex combat jiu-jitsu. One of the two.
Yeah.
Or 2 versus 1, whatever.
How can you do those? Are you allowed to do like combat match?
You have to do them basically around the commission, and to get the commission involved, then y'all get blood tested and drug tested, and it costs a lot more money to throw the event. And so a lot of people will like throw combat like on an MMA event, which I think is the stupidest thing ever. If I go to see an MMA event, I don't want to see like a fight with restricted rules where people are slapping instead of punching. So I don't think the money's there. The money's right for jiu-jitsu to just add those on. It either has to be a straight combat event, or it needs to just be, without combat, because adding it in, it adds that extra oversight and extra cost, and most promotions don't want to bother with it, honestly.
Yeah, I figured there was some type of way you had to like. There's something. It was going to be more difficult to just have those matches, you know.
Yeah, have you talked to Eddie at all? I mean, are they going to have you defend your title? I mean, the way that the CJJ titles work, is it going to be like each tournament winner fights you, or are they just going to set up super fights for you to have like in between the tournaments?
I think I'm just going to jump back in the bracket. Like I think like next time they have the welterweights, they're just going to put me in a good part of the bracket. Like I'll probably get like a first seed kind of spot. So like my first few fights maybe won't be like a studly guy, like a Narocha or something, but I think I'll just get a better spot, which is, you know, better. I'd rather jump in the tournament anyways, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do it, you know, it's fun. You don't get a lot of chances just to like wind up and like slap the shit out of somebody, you know. There's not a lot of opportunity like that.
I would want to go get my gun from my truck and shoot him if somebody ever slapped me like that, dude. I've seen some of those like highlights of people getting like the highlights of CJ. I was like, oh my god, if somebody ever slapped me like that, I don't know what I would do. It would probably not be a good. But I might cry. I don't know. Never knows. I'm just kidding. So William, if we can get the Pedro match done, Kody, if we can get you know, whoever done, maybe Dante, Andrew, what's up? I mean, you're going to be the feared Tackett now until Caleb gets, you know, hits puberty. So we gotta
that kid came too.
He's already 140 pounds.
He's 140.
He weighed 145 like a couple nights ago after dinner.
He's raising like the Hulk. Like he's growing so fast.
I know, the baby Tack is outweighs Andrew.
I believe when you came to the gym, he was only like 30 pounds.
He looked small, dude. Like when I was there, like he looked like just like a little dude. And then when he came and competed for us, I was like, okay, there we go.
He's 10 pounds heavier than that too.
So what's up, man? Is he starting to give you problems on the mats, or any of you guys, or is it still you're still able to mess with him?
Not on the mats, more off the mats, but yeah.
That's usually how little brothers go, though, right?
Actually, I'm wondering, like, how competitive are the three of you guys at home? Like, outside of
Caleb's not a super competitive. He's not like always wanting to be the best. But he just wants to prove that like he can do it. He's more like that person.
Chip on his shoulder.
We're more like we're kind of more like the same. Like we always want to prove something. Like we want to be the best. And my little brother, he'll get there, but he's more just trying to play video games and stuff right now.
Yeah, that's good for him, man. I mean, that's what you should be doing at that age. And if he wants to be a jiu-jitsu world champion, then add that in there too, right? Why not do both? So I mean, so William, when you're training with Andrew now, how are those sessions? I mean, is it still a pride thing, or I mean, are you or do you all roll and train enough to where like, hey, if he's getting a tap, you're gonna, you know, you give him the respect tap, or are you just like, hell no, I'm not tapping to my little brother?
Yeah,
if he catches me, I'm gonna tap. Yeah. I'm gonna be stupid, but I mean, we still roll pretty good. Like we have some fun rolls. We'll goof off sometimes, or we'll be more serious some other times. So it's fun training.
Usually William definitely controls me in the match, like with his amazing tech-style passing. But every once in a while, we'll get like a really fun scramble, and then I'll be like, "Wow, I kind of did good." I was like, "Wow, I'm doing really good," and then boom, he passes me and arm triangle chokes me, or he foot locks. Okay, I suck.
What about you and Kody? Have you? I remember when I was up there and I watched y'all train. Is there any of that in there to where like if he catches you, you're gonna tap, or is it still?
Kody kind of lets me work a little bit more. Like, Kody and I actually like have a bunch of scrambles. That's kind of our match. Like right there, we usually never stop moving. Constantly moving, and if we stop moving, it's because we either got hurt or the bell rang. So awesome. I mean, that's basically Cody's in my match. He takes me down usually, and submits me. But
I'm a lot nicer than William. I'm a lot nicer than William in training.
a lot nicer.
You're nicer to William than you are to Andrew.
No, I'm nicer to Andrew than William. I'm just a nicer person on the mat than William. All the time.
Man, when I trained with you guys, I was about what I weigh right now when I was coming back from an injury, and I just remembered I was like, these guys are. I felt like, you know, like the old hobbyists coming off the street, just, you know, getting passed around and y'all just having fun, which is basically what happened. But I like dude, I don't know. You rolled with Zach, and like I just loved it because we got it on video of you just rear naked choking him repeatedly. I loved every bit of it. But when Kody came down to Houston, I got to train with him, and like Kody, I'm like, why am I getting to these positions on you? But then I realized, like, as soon as it's like get to that one little point, and then it's like, all right, you fucked up. Like, I took your bagger.
Sometimes I'll be rolling with people, and then like they'll be like, "Dang, man, I'm putting it on Kody," and then like and I'll have to like be on my shut your ass up, like it's just crazy. Like that's just how I like to train though. Sometimes like I like to like always work in weird positions, or like sometimes like when I'm rolling with Andrew, I like rolling with Andrew a lot because he'll shoot on me, and then I'll just dive on his leg, or we'll be in some, and then I'll just twist it, and then we just start scrambling, and then we just go all over the mat. It's crazy.
So William has the more like slower pace, the body lock passing, the more pressure style game, where you and Andrew are more, as I've noticed, is just a little more scrambly, a little more scrappy. So so where do those style differences come from? Where was your influence on that, William, as comparison where you got these two psychos up there that are just trying to exchange scrambles the whole time?
I feel like both of them are just really natural athletes. Like they're both super athletic. And I mean, it's not that I'm not athletic or anything, but I think just the way I look at jiu-jitsu and the way I think is a little bit more like systematically. I try to like understand it a little bit more instead of, I mean, I probably could be like that explosive, crazy, jiu-jitsu guy, but I like to play a little bit more like, technical and stuff. So the way I like jiu-jitsu.
So in other words, you're trying to be like, no, I'm just not like Gordon. Like when I talk to Gordon, he's the same way. Like he's like when I trained with him and all this stuff, he's so like, it's like training like he could train with a baby. I say that all the time. Like he's so gentle and just like technical that it feels like he's not even putting even in like zero effort and he's passing your guard like this and that. And that's kind of like the feeling that I had when I trained with like Cody, when I've trained with you guys is that, well, not Andrew. Andrew still tried to kill me. But
you like a spider monkey in the back. I was like,
Andrew does that to white belts though. Like first day white belts, Andrew will like just spaz on them. Like the other day we were like looking at it, like Andrew's like spazzed on his white belt. We're like, what the heck is he doing?
And we're like, it's not cool. It's not cool.
So the first day guys will come in with Andrew and try and like flex on him, and then he just got to put it on him.
No, he's more like putting them in like omoplatas and triangles while he's like looking at us, talking to somebody.
What a jerk! What a jerk!
It's just confusing the heck out of him.
So I'm definitely trying to stop that because I feel like I've had more I've been the cause of people leaving our gym rather than people in just by doing that. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to stop. On my 17th birthday, just coming up, I'm gonna make a promise that I'm gonna be a nicer person on the mat.
I'm going to record this, and then when it comes time for your 18th birthday and you've been harassing white belts still, we're just going to call you out for it. So, no, but I mean, like when those big, strong, like at Gracie Barra, Texas at Drax, we have a new stream of like white belts. Like I'm talking like it's a huge school. We got like over 700 students. So there's always a new stream coming in. So I'll go hop in that Tuesday fundamentals class sometimes. And when it's like all no serving, these big dudes like jacked up, barrel chest. And dude, I feel like that's as close to like a real fight as you'll get, I think, especially the ones that don't give a fuck. Like they'll just come at you. Like they have like that little athleticism from like high school or something. And then I don't know, do you get a lot of those guys that come in off the street that are trying to basically hurt you from day one like we do?
Something?
Yeah. Sure. Like I like my more favorite ones are like when the guys come in and they like eat a lot of protein and they lift a lot of weights and they're really big. Because then it looks really cool when I beat them up, because they're like but like, yeah, if they grab your head, it's gonna hurt. Man, like I got to watch Gordon train with Brian Cushing, and Brian Cushing, dude, like when he was at Flow Grappling was down, we were doing our shooting for 3CG4. I literally watched him pass like 3 or 4 black belts guards like effortlessly, and just like he's that level of a freak athlete. So I got to watch him and Gordon go, and I train with Brian like every chance I get, and it's terrible. But watching Gordon go with him, like I was like, whoa, like Cushing's like 6'7", 6'8", almost 300 pounds, and Gordon just like a baby. Like man, like it was a little rougher than normal because he was dealing with a giant man. But dude, it was just like still it was the same thing. So I don't think that strength and all that at the levels y'all are at, I don't think it plays as big of a factor, does it?
Oh yeah, but I'm definitely extremely weak. And like
I get that.
And I feel when I roll with people that are super strong and like really beefy guys, I don't feel like strength matters until like it does matter. Like once you like, because I'm always like super flexible and I get in weird positions.
Mhm.
If I roll with a big guy, I try to put them in positions where they kind of can't use their strength. Is I'm not just gonna let a big guy like, I'm not just gonna put him in my close guard and let him grab double collar so he can just start shaking me. No, I like kind of positions.
Yeah, like
So, yeah.
William, like William, with you when it comes to training at the school, are y'all all instructing, or are y'all all teaching? Is like a rotational thing, or how is it set up there with Rodrigo? I mean, he's the main professor, and then you guys are kind of like Tiffany and everybody else kind of assist with all the other classes.
So typically, like for me, I teach only like 2 classes a week for adult classes. Like I teach a 7 a.m. class, and then I have like my no-gi class on Thursday nights. But and then we just all help out with kids' classes together. So we're normally not teaching too much. We're normally just training. But Rodrigo
teaches a lot of classes for sure.
I've seen his backflip, man. I saw him fail on that one and try and hit the push-up to try and play it off. I was like, that is a very athletic 40-year-old man, or however old he is. But
he's crazy.
Is he over 40 or is he in his 30s?
I think he's about to be 40.
He's like 37, I think.
Yeah, I'm 34, so I know he's a few years older than me. But man, super athletic. How was that training with Yuri when he was down? How long was he down with you guys?
Week and a half.
How was that? Like ADCC champ? Talking about wrestling, talk about takedowns and passing. Like, how was that training with him? I'm sure all y'all got your rounds in with him.
It was rough. It was definitely fun. I feel like him and William trained the most together, so I feel like William could kind of fill us in on that a little better.
Yeah, he really liked rolling with me. We rolled, and like I think he had a little bit tough time passing my guard, and then he was like, "Oh, William, we roll again." I was like, we would roll for like 3, 4, like 7-minute rounds straight.
Oh
and
man,
through the buzzer and everything, and I was just like, "Oh, he's so strong and so like technical and stuff." It was exhausting rolling with him.
Man, like it's funny, like anybody that comes through Texas that stops and trains with y'all. I remember when Keenan was coming for 3CG1 and he gets there, he goes, "Man, I stopped in Austin and I couldn't tap this kid." It was like it went on for like I didn't know what happened. I thought I was being like punked or something. Like this blue belt or purple belt was just like giving me all these problems. And that's like the story. Like I guess guys will come down and train with y'all, and it's like what? And it's always comes back to William. Like, who the hell is this guy? But now you're getting a brown belt. Some of that clout's going to go to your brother. I mean, how's it feel? I mean, you go up in rank, but the clout goes to the younger one. I mean, he's going to be the one beating all the black belts now.
It's kind of cool because then I can see Andrew like coming in. Like people come in and look at Andrew and they see a kid that's 16-year-old kid, kind of skinnier, a little smaller, and then just kind of lumps on him like one flat.
Yeah. Man, seeing that match, just seeing like how the guard is really evolving, the way that Andrew plays the guard, it go from lapel to reverse De La Hiva, regular De La Hiva, invert, baron, but like it's like are you that creative intentionally, or is it just the way your jiu-jitsu is and you just try to just flow with what your opponent gives you?
I mean, I'm not like a super technical fighter. Like I know techniques, I know how to explain technique, but I'm not like a super technical fighter. I've been really trying lately to play more on top and work my go more after like my others. I'm kind of like a mixture of William and Kody's game. Like I try to have a really, like broad game, but my game's more scrambly and like looking for openings and like putting my skinny arms and skinny legs in those openings. I'm definitely trying to get more technical so I can slow down and stop hurting people and hurting myself.
Hurting white belts.
Actually, I don't just hurt white belts, so.
Or blue belts or purple belts, whatever. I mean, equal opportunity. I think you took Lisa out, and so did your brother last time too. So I mean, I guess women aren't safe either. So
yeah, I think Lisa and I had a very fun role. I don't think I hurt her.
She's tough, man. Like I as big as I am, I can train with like Lisa, who's 110 pounds, and then I can go train with the giants. And me and her will train. I'm trying to berimbolo her, get under her, and do all kinds of stuff.
It's almost. I like rolling with people small because it's definitely more fun. When you roll with someone that's big, it's like you have to use your muscle and you have to use all of it in order to win, and you just get hurt. I like rolling with people my size a lot too, because then I can kind of like flow around and have fun.
Yeah, jumping around is fun for me too.
Yeah. I mean, she trains with, I mean, I've seen her train, like, she trains with everybody. It doesn't matter, like, all the guys, everybody, she just goes in there and tears their asses up. I'm like, I don't know.
But kind of like what Kody brought up when he first started training, like he came up with a bunch of other white belts and blue belts. The school was probably new then, right, Kody, when you joined? If there weren't many upper belts. That's similar to what I experienced because Gracie Baja Pearland, when they opened, I'm with them ever since the beginning, since the first week. And it was just a sea of white belts who didn't necessarily know right from wrong. Like I fractured like almost all my toes because like I had really long toes, and for some reason, like the other guys would like intertwine their toes with my toes, like to like flatten me out. Like that's how white belt we were. Okay, like fight was just like grab onto anything. You can't gouge your eyes, but we thought like intertwine toes and stuff.
Unless you're Paul Harris, then you can gouge eyes.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we learn, right? And then, but I'm used to that. There's nobody else to train except for whoever's there, no matter your size. And then like we learned right from wrong by hurting each other accidentally, and then not to do it. You learn from trauma. So I felt like that was good. But now, fortunately, after 3 to 4 years, like there's some upper belts now. I'm starting to become like more cognizant to help others that I see that might be doing something wrong. Like I had always wondered, like if I should say anything to someone. I feel like you learn better, like, if you commit the mistake and then like, not to do it. And like, who likes it when people tell you what to do, right? Like,
especially when you're about to submit them is the best part. When you're about to tap them and then they try to walk you through it, that's the best part.
I want to ask Andrew how he feels about that, because you're coming up and you're doing so well in the competition scene. Like, how do you feel, I guess, giving guidance to your teammates, coming up, like your belt level, maybe even higher belt level?
Yeah, like people double your age, like 40-year-old hobbyists that are coming in and you're over there teaching them jiu-jitsu. Is it hard to get that respect, or is it just they got to roll with you once and then it's like a...
Not at all for me. I feel like since I'm like so goofy and like I don't really like try to be mean to people when I'm teaching them. Only when I have their back and I'm choking them. But like, I like helping out people, and I love helping out white belts and stuff. Like I love to like roll white belts and they're like, hey man, like you should do this. It might work for you a little better. Like I really like doing that, and I feel like everybody respects me because like they know I've been trained for a while, and like they like know that like I know what I'm talking about. I've really never had much people like kind of like say no, that's not right, or kind of like argue with me or kind of disrespect me, because like I know since I'm so young, I kind of like respect them and show them respect so that they can show me respect back.
Oh, for sure, man. And you guys are all getting older. I mean, the money's going to come around more and all that. And I think you all three of you guys. I mean, are y'all doing the? I'm assuming you're going to do the ADCC trials.
Sure.
Are they talking? They might have to.
I mean, that's what Rodrigo was saying. Rodrigo was saying that they might not have the one in November. So,
man,
I'm not sure where I heard it from, but so let's hopefully they have it. Mo, I mean, we're posting saying that he has no info that they're going to be canceling it. So hopefully they just keep them both. But yeah, we'll definitely be there.
Yeah, I hope they do. I mean, even they could go down like the UFC doing that stuff in Florida. I mean, Mo has a place in Florida. They could probably even, the athletic commission is down there and stuff. They could probably even make the East Coast trip, maybe move them down there instead of Jersey, and where it's so concentrated with the coronavirus stuff. I would say just maybe, if it was me, that's what I would do. But I'm not. I mean, it's none of my business. But I would just move the location to a less impacted area.
Mo's closer to Fort Lauderdale in Florida, though, which is kind of like at the end, where near Miami. Yeah. And Miami's like a really concentrated spot right now because it's a connection flight for like New York and New Jersey.
Yeah, you're right. Airport. Yeah, that whole area that's kind of like why we said we didn't want to fly people in from New York or Cali or Florida, because they were kind of screwed up. But yeah, man. So that ADCC, I mean, next year, probably 2021. It'll probably happen in the summertime, you think, again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should be.
So yeah, I mean, as long as they get the trials out of the way, I mean, all three of you guys should. I mean, William, you were first alternate last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And so Kody, I mean, I'm excited to see that. That's one of my things is the trials. I just want to see how they do it this year with Mo running all the trials and the whole thing. I want to see what they come up with. and see who's coming out. Because now with the Nicky Rod success, I think you're going to see a ton of wrestlers that are just coming straight out of college or like straight out of high school. They're just going to jump right into the ADCC pool and think that they can have, you know, the kind of success that he did. I mean, have y'all seen any of that in the competition scene on y'all side? Just seeing more wrestlers. Have y'all done IBJJF in a while?
Just
I was going to do Pan, but that got canceled because of the coronavirus. I was going to do Worlds also, but that got canceled. So I've been doing more.
Are y'all training the gi much these days, or just keeping it no gi mainly?
Switching it up here and there. Like some days gi, some days no gi. Just depends, I guess. We're not like training as much as we normally do, which is like obviously all day, but at least once a day or something, getting it in, you know. So we'll just switch it up here and there. But I think we're definitely doing a lot more no gi than gi for sure.
Right on. Well, you know, we're coming up on an hour, so I'll ask you guys each a question. So, Kody, give me a dream match for 2020. Like, what's your dream match? What's something you would like to see? Or give me a couple. Like, who would you like to see in 2020? Not just Dante, but like let's hear some other names. Get creative with it.
Okay. Let's see. Who do I want to fight?
It gives me time to think.
Yeah, let me think.
I'm not gonna ask you. You got 3 guys like that. That's who you're gonna fight. I'm just kidding.
I would say, you know, obviously Dante. I want to definitely get a match with Wagner as well. I know he always puts on good fights. And also, I think like Gary Tonin would be fun. I mean, he's like one of the most exciting grapplers right now, in my opinion. He's like one of my favorite to watch, you know. So that's kind of that's what I want to be. So you know, I want to be an exciting fighter. So I want to, you know, definitely facing him would be something great. And then I know Wagner. Maybe me and him will square up when we do some like combat or something. That would be nice.
I know William was kind of, you know, that match was kind of hung over your head a little bit, and we probably could have made it for us. But I mean, at the end of the day, the match is still out there, and I bet Wagner would take it. Wagner's not going to say no to anybody that'll pay him the money. So
Wagner's a super cool guy, so I feel like he probably would.
Yeah, they offered the what was that one? They didn't pay any other athletes.
Substars.
They asked me if I wanted to fight Wagner, but it was like in a combat match. It's like a combat match. And I was like, oh yeah. And then I think it was like right between, like I fought and then I had a free weekend and I had to fight again, and then I think it was like in between those, and I already tossed off like, probably gonna be too messed up to do that fight. But they didn't even get paid, so it's okay. I mean, it didn't work out.
Well, you didn't. Well, there you go. I guess it all worked out for a reason. Andrew, who you want to fight? Who are you?
I definitely want to fight. I definitely want to throw it back with Ethan. I want to have another rematch with him, because I feel like last match was so exciting and it was fun.
I love that match. I was like on the edge of my seat, and to be honest with you, man, like just a few little things and you would have won that match. That was yours.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm mad
he has nightmares over it.
I'm still mad about it, but yeah, I've watched it a lot, and Ethan's so good. He's so good, and he's actually a super cool guy. Like, I talked to him on Instagram, and I talked to him in person. He's a really cool guy. So yeah, I definitely want to fight Ethan. I want to fight the Rotolo brothers. I want to.
I've offered it to them, and they always come back. Oh, we fought them before. They pull the same stuff every time I ask them about it.
I feel like I'll end up fighting them more in the future once we've both like kind of made our own separate names, and like we're just okay, let's fight. But I feel like since we're so young and like kind of friends, like we're just like, well, there's so many other options. But yeah, I'm open to fight them because they're super good, and it's always a crazy match for me. We roll, and maybe anybody that like is coming up and it's an exciting fight, I want to fight them. I definitely want to do the 3-man fight because I feel like that's just gonna be fireworks.
It's gonna be 100%. It's gonna happen. So when we get that next 3CG date down, I guess we can just talk about that. We'll line up three for Andrew and just see what happens.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. So what about you, William? Call your shot. What do you want? I mean, I know we've talked privately about a few big fights that you've wanted to do, but I mean, who's out there? What's going to elevate your career at this point? Because people can go win all these IBJJF tournaments. They can go do all these little tournaments around the country. But unless you're on Flow Grappling or on Fight Pass, nobody's even going to care about it really, or nobody's going to see it. So, I mean, you've got to make sure that those organizations that have that exposure, at least exposure-ability, that's where you're taking the risk and you're taking the big fights, because you don't want to go out to like podunk nowhere and lose to somebody that's way less than you, for no reason, So who's out there for you?
Well, I mean, I've kind of changed mindset in like the last few months. I've switched to 88 kilograms for the next ADCC. So, I mean, honestly, anyone in that division. I haven't even fought the 88 kilograms yet. So, really just anyone in that category. I mean, obviously top 3 would always be best. So, like, top 3 last year was Craig and Matos, Craig, and then Josh. So, I mean, really anyone in that category.
I would love to see you and Josh Yinger. Now that you mentioned that, I'm actually going to probably text him when we get done with this and be like, "Hey, Josh, you want to fight William?" He's going to be like, "No, fuck off," and then I'm going to.
Well, we know each other just a little bit, like, because he coached against Andrew whenever the Rotolas were fighting him. So we kind of met there, and then we just kind of seen each other at other tournaments.
No, Josh is cool people, man. I like Josh a lot. Yeah, so that would be a good one, I think. But after what Craig did to Vinny Magalesh's legs, I don't think you're going to see many people wanting to fight him. I mean, that's.
I mean, I would always throw down with Craig. I think he's a cool guy, and he's got a fun, exciting game. I mean, I'll throw down with anyone.
That's what I love about you guys. So, what did y'all think about that finish? Do you think that? I mean, as athletes, would you ever stop in the middle of a match and be like, "Hey, bro, are you okay?" Or are you going to go and try and just go until the referee stops it? Like, what's y'all's mentality? I mean, I get it. It's like the UFC. You drop somebody and you don't throw that follow-up shot because they're already out of it, so you don't keep going. But I feel like the athletes shouldn't talk to each other during the competition, and the referee should be the one to step in and stop it. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've had that happen a few times. Like, I broke a kid's arm in a tournament. I've done a couple. Like, I don't stop unless the referee stops it for sure. And I feel like if I have the kid in a submission, or like even if I knee him in the face, or like even if I like knee him in the stomach or accidentally slap him, I'm not like, "Oh, are you okay?" I just keep going, and then after the match, I'm like, "Hey, man, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry."
Yeah. Do you lose sleep at night though? Like,
excuse me?
Would you lose sleep at night though afterwards? Like, oh man, I can't believe I broke his arm.
Yeah, I sleep perfectly fine.
You sound like Lucas Valente is like one of my main professors. He's the same way, because like I choked a guy one time and it burst his sinus cavities and like blood shot all over me, and I'm sitting there like traumatized. I'm like, what is going on? He goes, "Oh, your first time? Now you got the cold blood," and just walked off. I got this guy's like sinus blood all over my gi from choking him to death, and he's just like, first time, and just kept walking. I mean, like I mess with the guy all the time because I'm like, every match he's in lately, he's breaking somebody's foot. Like, you can make a compilation of just Lucas breaking people's feet over and over and over again. I don't know.
He's also that one guy super flexible. Like him and Gary, when they fought, he looked like his knees were going to blow out just like him.
That's what, like, the Vinny thing is what reminded me of it, because I was like, those are the worst heel hooks I've seen somebody take since Lucas versus Gary Tonin, I think.
He's so flexible. Ridiculously flexible.
And he was back training. Like, Lucas was back training that week. I remember when he came back from EBI, when everybody's like, "Oh, he broke his leg in half." They're putting out all the BS. And Lucas is back in class, putting his legs behind his head. Like, "You didn't hurt me." Like,
yeah, well, I remember when he fought PJ Barch at the On It too. And they were both, I think they're both down there. And PJ like was trying to pass Lucas, and Lucas did his like feet over the head thing. Yeah. And PJ just like sat under him and put him in the truck. Just started like wrenching his knee. And Lucas was like, "No, I'm fine." And just like took PJ's back off of it. I was like, "What the heck?" He like broke his own leg to take it back. I was like, man, he's so flexible.
Man, that guy to train with him is not fun. Like, when training with you guys, it's some fun there. It's, we have some fun, whatever. But him, it's not fun. Like, he's trying to fuck me up every time, every second of every match. Like, it's not fun. But that's how I guess you get to where he is. So I guess super fights, combat jiu-jitsu. I mean, IBJJF's canceled for the year. ADCC trials still on tentatively. So that's kind of the game plan the rest of the year, right? Like, try and get some super fights in, hit the ADCC trials, hopefully qualify, and then focus on ADCC next year, right?
Oh yeah,
sir.
For sure. Yeah. Just
right on. Right on, dude. Well, let's get some good matches together. Let's see how this thing pans out. I'm glad you guys are all safe and I'm glad that y'all didn't get impacted too bad. We're ready to get back to work, ready to have y'all down in Houston, and we'll get it figured out sooner than later.
Sounds good.
I'm glad to see you guys are doing well and still, staying ready behind the scenes. I'm excited for your future.
Yeah, so you'll hear from this nice little lady in the bottom left here soon, hopefully, and then we'll get back to work.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all later, man. I'm gonna hit the end broadcast, and then we'll be good. We'll be off air.
All right, thanks for having us on.